please give a warm welcome to Donna Karan. I don't know, but these chairs feel familiar.
No,
So
they
let me
feel
show
higher.
you. Pardon me?
They feel higher.
No, I think they're the same.
Weren't we on lower chairs yesterday?
No, we're on. No, on stage, yes, but at the pictures.
Ah.
So I thought Donna wouldn't make it because she wasn't feeling well to the pictures. So here's Donna Karan during the pictures. Hello, how are you? Here's JT. Help! ADD! And Donna's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Donna, just look forward so we can be done. So every time I say, Donna, let's look forward, purposely 5 times in a row, she would say hello. And I kind of looked at me and like, you can do whatever you want. I will just suffer in silence. And by the way, I saw a lot of the pictures. You look amazing, and I look, you might have to Photoshop me out. So, because they're here, and people are like, and I'm like, and then Arnold. No, first, this was Arnold. As the pictures went on. You don't believe me. For those of you who had taken the last pictures, it was literally like. So, thank you for coming back. It's a pleasant surprise. Damien and I have a sign for you when you're around or we're talking about you. It was like, so I got the sign, so I figured that must be you. And now that you have no clicker, and I lost my clicker. Can't find it. So many of these people have come here, and yesterday, by the way, thank you for all those who tweeted about the charity, who tweeted about Donna Karan. Urban Zen was trending last night, by the way, on Twitter. So give yourself a round of applause. So. And many of you want to get involved. I do want to say, Donna's got those handbags from Haiti that are handmade, and they're only $100. And so if you want a handbag, or you want the book. So if you want the...
A lot more they can have than that.
Donna, one thing at a time. So it's the climax of the sale. You know what I mean? You just start down, you know what I mean? Low.
You see, I started as a sales girl when I was 15 years old. Just thought I'd tell you.
Oh. Do we have a slide for that? Donna Karan just punched me. I can brand that. Now, the difference between you, it probably won't give me a bruise. Michael Irvin, I look like I'm like, messed up. So if you want a bag or any of the Urban Zen, for those of you in New York, you can go into Urban Zen. But we are going to figure it out when Donna gets off stage during the lunch break, after lunch. So if you can get the necklace and all of those wonderful things, they're very inexpensive, but they're actually going to help. 100% of the money goes to Haiti, as well as Donna has her book that she saw yesterday. And if you want a book, it'll be $100. If you want it signed by Donna, personally autographed, it'll be $1,000. Again, all that going to charity. After lunch, we'll tell you where, at the bookstore. I will give the details, but it's a good way to get involved. I'd like you to sign me up for many books. Thank you. Is that a kiss? Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I should do that. I just never know if you like me or not. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I feel you don't like me, sometimes you really like me. So.
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
So, I want to ask you, the Donna Karan and the DKNY brand, how did you specifically build that brand. And then you end up selling a brand with your name for an enormous amount of money. So how did you build a brand? Was that something by accident, something that you planned, something that evolved over time? Because it's a remarkable story. I think you sold it twice, the same brand twice? I mean, that's amazing. And that's what I wanted to know yesterday.
Well, I was talking about my third brand, honey. No, honestly, I think having built or developed Anne Klein and Anne Klein too was certainly, a plus factor. But I do have to go back to where I started. Pardon me, I need a little bit of a lozenge today. Having worked as a sales girl in a clothing store really started the whole thing. So that started when I was 15 years old. And I think what I'm trying to say is you have to be who you are. You can't be anybody else. You can't be somebody else. There is no other person. You have to find that person inside of who you are. And I think whether I like it or not, and God only knows I tried to keep away from this person for a very long time, I didn't want to be Donna Karan. I wanted to be a mother. I wanted to be I want to stay home and be that mother that I never had. I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to sing like Barbra Streisand. I wanted to dance like somebody else. But guess what? I couldn't do any of that. My father was custom-made suits. My mother was in the fashion industry, and I guess I was born into fashion. So I think inside of you, there is something who you are, not who anybody else is. The minute you try to be like somebody else, that's not a key to success because they already have been there. They already are that person. I think they could be an inspiration, but without a doubt, you've got to come to your core essence of who you are. And obviously, I was born into fashion. So when I started Donna Karan, it was, and I said this last night, I was very selfish. I needed clothes for me. It was just for me, myself, and my friends. So when you have that kind of ownership, therein lies an immediate success. Now, if it happens that a few friends like it, it doesn't help either. But I looked at what was missing because you didn't need another. You don't need me to be Ralph Lauren. You don't need, if you look at all of us, and it's hard for me to say this because, at sometimes there's Donna Karan, the brand, and then there's Donna Karan, me. And I tend to separate the two sometimes. But if I look at as a brand person, I have Ralph Lauren. Well, we all know what Ralph looks like, right? There's no other Ralph Lauren. There's Ralph Lauren. Then there's Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein's underwear, and he's best friend of mine. He's Calvin Klein. And when I asked Calvin, can we join businesses together, there was a difference between Calvin and myself. So you are who you are. And that is probably the most important thing that I could possibly say. And I don't know who everybody is. But each one of us, that's why we look around the room. None of us look alike. We might all be wearing the exact same clothes, but each one of us has that uniqueness that is purely us. And it takes time to find that soul. And I keep on saying the word soul because that is who you are. And that's what you're trying to deliver. Now, if you're going to be kind and compassionate and you have this enormous energy to want to give back to somebody, that's one thing. And I would explore that. But work should never be work. And that's what I'd have to say. Work is living. And if you can't live and work, then to me it doesn't work. And yes, a lot of us, unfortunately, must work to earn a living. There's no question about that. But we're talking at a different level. If you want to create a brand, there is very little difference between you and that brand. It is who you are. You can't be anybody else. Don't try. It's not worth it. Because all you're going to do is you have to have that angle, that missing link that is not out there. So when I started Donna Karan, I looked at what was out there. Okay, in those days, the fashion was very frivolous. Either women were looking like men, all the women were wearing suits and ties and all of that kind of thing, and you couldn't tell the difference between a man and a woman. It was driving me crazy. And then there was the other part of fashion, which was all this sort of frou-frou. It was La Croix in those days. So there was the Croix, and there was the masculine woman. And I said, well, I'm not either of these people, and I need clothes. So I decided I needed clothes that dressed me, my friends. I was traveling all over the place. I was constantly on the go. I was a mother. I was trying to deal with 10 million things, and I needed to put a wardrobe together. So I designed my own wardrobe, and voila, started Donna Karan. But even for that, Donna Karan for me was never enough, and that's when I told you the story yesterday. I needed something to ground my name, and I chose New York. Now, if you look at a lot of pictures right now, there's a lot of New Yorks all over the place. I go, now it should be, DK Turkey or DK China or DK, of the other parts of the world. But at the time that I started Donna Karan, I realized that Donna Karan wasn't enough. So what did I use? I used the streets of New York. I used the woman who was looking through New York, and it was looking at campaigning in a whole different venue. It wasn't just a girl wearing a bunch of clothes, because everybody was doing that. So you have to find that unique spot that belongs to you and you alone, if that helps. Now, I'm talking from a fashion point of view, but that could be from a food point of view. That could be from a banking point of view. That could be from every point of view, a communications point of view. How do you compete with that which is? Well, you try to make it better. And I think that's the whole key to everything. And then on DKNY, yes, it has to do with the financial. What is your parameter? Who are you speaking to? Who is your audience? At first, I was my own audience, and then I realized that I had my daughter's audience, and then I had her friend's audience, and then as a woman, I understood my husband's audience, and there were a few other people that I was dressing. So all of a sudden, my audience got much larger. But it was my husband who said to me, Donna, you need a fragrance. Now, here was an interesting issue where I was not interested in fragrance. It was not part of my DNA. I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. And he said, let's look at what we could do that would be different. And I will never forget this as long as I live. We came out with a fragrance called Donna Karan. Now, the next thing you do in fragrance is you make shampoo, body lotion, conditioner, all of that stuff. And they wanted me to take my fragrance and make it into that. And I said, no, I will not put my fragrance all over my body. And I had a big fight with them, of course. And I said, let's create something that I can wear all over my body, that I can put in the shampoo and I can put in my body and make a soap out of it. And of course, again, I was going against the grain completely. So I created something that was not a fragrance. I created a soap. I created a shampoo. I created a body lotion. Well, today it's probably one of the #1 selling fragrances out there. It's called Cashmere Mist. You see, it agrees with me. I guess my phone is still on.
Would you like me to hold it for you? Would you like me to hold it for you?
Okay, I'll turn it on.
No, you don't
Probably
need to turn it
Marnie's
off.
calling me and saying I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Sorry about that.
Stretch it.
So again, I went against the grain. Creating a fragrance that was not even a fragrance. It was a shampoo, it was a conditioner, and I know a lot of you probably know about Cashmere Mist. It's probably one of the #1 selling fragrances today. So there always is a branding, a concept, something that is there that is not there.
Can you
Fill the void.
Can you answer me? Great question, by the way. Sorry. I just can't believe she's here. So, the Donna Karan, the business person. What's your philosophy? How do you manage? What do you spend your time doing? You just come to your routine. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? What's your management style? What's your philosophy in terms of doing business?
I would not want to share it with these people.
What time do you wake up at? Let's start with that. Normally, on an average.
Between 6:30, about 6:30, I start I do either a yoga practice, meditation. I find my mornings a mind. I'm very, very particular about that. Once I give away myself, then I belong to the world.
Right.
And that goes till God only knows what hour of the night, you know, and particularly, you know, living in the world that we live in the international world. So, and particularly when I travel, that I find, where was I just now? I was just in India. So it was great. I did my India part to me, and then at the end of the night when I should be sleeping, of course, I was doing New York and LA and every other thing. And I think that's the world we live in today, which I don't think is very healthy, by the way. You know, this 24-hour compulsive obsessiveness of, you know, we burn out. So I really think it's so, so important. And I'm not saying that everybody should meditate and everybody should do yoga yet, even though I do think you all should. I think you need to find that thing that finds your calm and your chaos, and to start the day with it, sort of end the day with it.
What time does that lead you to? Like in the mornings? So is it like 2
So I
hours
start,
yourself, 3 hours?
So I usually don't get to, I don't book myself until 10:30.
Till 10:30. And then what do you do at 10:30? What happens then?
It's an open gate. God only knows. You'll call Sheila.
Do you like have meetings? do you review? Or is it different every single day?
I never know. I never know. It depends whether I'm in collection and I have a collection due, or I'm traveling, or I'm dealing with Urban Zen, or I'm dealing with a retail store, I'm dealing with, you know.
Well, you're in New York, so it's very, there's a lot
No,
of
I'm never, that's it. Even though, you know, people say to me, you know, well, you're such a New Yorker. I say, I work in New York, I live in the world. And that is the truth.
But in New York, there's so many functions and people come in at all times. So, I mean, there would never be anything where you could say, I don't have anything to do, correct? I mean, it's very difficult.
I'm not bored. Boredom is not one of the things. I'm dying to be bored.
What's one thing in business that you do that you just absolutely not like? You're like, ugh, I do it, but I don't necessarily like it.
Taking pictures.
They're already done, so I don't care. But it's true.
You know what it is? It's the hair and makeup stuff. I can't stand it. You know, it's like, sorry about that.
It's Brad Pitt.
It's the hair and makeup stuff, you know, because, you know, people go, you're Donna Karan? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you I'm Donna Karan, you know. Yeah, people are really disappointed when they meet me.
Not us, right? And what is it about business that you like the most to do? Like that you just absolutely...
I love to be in the zone. In the zone is when I am the happiest, when I am in the moment. And that means that there's no outside, usually in front of a mirror, with a model, with a piece of fabric, with the stone on the beach. Wherever that place is where I am connected to it. And all the noise and the chatter and all of that, when I know that there is not even a question, you know, then that's it. You know, and that could be with my granddaughter. It could be on any single level. It could be eating something. It could be tasting that juice or making that juice or breathing or being on the yoga mat. My God, I love being on a yoga mat. I mean, that to me is my sacred place. You know, I have that mat and it's my place. So I think we all, every single one of us has to find that place, whether, you know, me, my granddaughter, I mean.
How much pressure do you feel pressure and demands? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you are Donna Karan. Everybody wants something from you. It's very rare. Someone says, what do you need? And the whole world is trying to, so do you feel
this morning was a little complicated upstairs, let me tell you.
It's not my
fault. Because I was
fault.
dealing with Israel and I was dealing with, you know, it's just
It wasn't me for once.
You came in afterwards, don't worry. I was trying to deal with the world right now this morning, and it was like everybody needed an answer, you know, and I try to live in the now, and you have to project because I'm living so much in the future, but at the same time I try to live in the present. And then I got in trouble because I didn't plan some trips that I'm planning, because I got in trouble today.
How do you deal with stress personally?
I don't.
You don't have it, or you don't have stress, or you don't deal with it, you don't want to acknowledge it, or you just don't have any?
I have a lot of stress. I really do, because I think being a woman, and and with all you women out there, I think it's really hard for us. I really, really think it's very hard to be a woman. I think it's a woman because in our DNA, we are the mother. So we are this caring, compassionate, obsessive, compulsive, making sure that everything is taken care of. We worry about your suit, if your tie is made, if your shirt is okay, if you're feeling good, how you're looking. I mean, it's just who we are as our entities, our children, our family, what we're eating. Then all of a sudden, do you know the #1 killer disease in women today? And this is going to be shocking to everybody. I want to really hear I'd love to see the raise of hands. How many know that the #1 killer of women today is heart disease? I am very impressed. I really am impressed, because when I heard that heart disease is the #1 killer of women today, my girlfriend Barbara Streisand, I mean, she's like my sister.
And she's going to Paris to see Barbara Streisand today.
No, that's where I was supposed to be. I'm going to Israel. That's Israel.
Oh.
But I was supposed to be in Paris.
I heard
That's why I'm
you
here.
don't make Barbara Streisand mad, so good luck with that.
No. So Barbara called me and she says, do you know this? And I mean, I'm really involved in healthcare. And I go, you're nuts. I mean, I know she did the movie Nuts, but I said, you're really nuts. What do you mean heart disease? I've never heard of it. How many people really have somebody who has died of a heart attack? I mean, I know how many people die of cancer. I mean, I'm in shock. No matter, even if I know it, I don't feel it. And this is something that I'm trying to explain, is that thing that you feel inside of you, that there is not even an if, and, or but about it. That's your driving force. When you own it, there is nothing you could do, but it is going to govern your life. You can't create it. You say, oh, I think I want to be. Forget it. It's not going to happen. I want to be a lot of things in life. I'm not going to be it. But if it's something you cannot not be, that's when you're going to be successful.
One more question, because that phone is either a sign for me to stop or to go, and you do have a big meeting with Mr. Chen. One more question. Everyone here wants to know, when are you inviting me to Turks and Caicos on your island? Right, don't you want to know? Mega partnering, Turks and Caicos.
Quanto costo?
You're breaking up. Bad connection.
Quanto costo? No, I have a really great place there. There's no question about it.
No, there's 5 places there.
Yeah. I built, what happened was my husband and I redid our vows on this extraordinary place. And it was funny, we never gave each other presents. And the year right before he passed away, he gave me he said, came in with all these boxes. I go, okay, whatever. And he hands me this diamond ring. Now, I don't exactly wear diamond rings. So this big diamond ring, I go, what am I supposed to do with this? It's kind of weird. But I got a diamond ring. And I said, I got him. I'm going to get him something better than a diamond ring. So I said, we are going to get remarried. And I created a wedding for us on a piece of property, which is in Turks and Caicos. My friend Christina and Biasong own this place down in Paraque. And my favorite place in the world is Bali. So if anybody's been to Bali, that really is my favorite place in the whole wide world. And they own this place. And I gave this property to my husband. And I said I would build a place and a space for all our children and all our grandchildren to be. Wow. So we have 5 houses there, 1 for every child. And I have a spa because I love yoga.
Keith Richard is the neighbor.
And so is Bruce Willis. Bruce is my real neighbor. Keith only lives a few houses.
Yeah,
no, but it's a private, an amazing, amazing place. And it is a place which, unfortunately, it's only a half hour away from Haiti. Ha ha. So it really gives me level to go back and forth, but it is a very, very special place. And I had it built in Bali. So my furniture was made in Bali, my houses were made in Bali, and everybody loved all my furniture, and that's how I'm into the furniture business now, which I never thought I'd be in. But I built this place that's very special.
So...
It's not that big, darling. There's only X amount of rooms.
Okay, no. Me.
Oh, you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donna Karan. Yeah, we'll see you at lunch.